Back on the Sports Zone, I am Mike Aglialoro. Once again, thanks to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel Mike Ags 121. Don't forget to subscribe under the video if you haven't done so, and check out thisissportszone.com for more. So we're back off arguably probably the worst week I have ever had, doing sit 'em, start 'em up, whatever you want to call them. I've been doing this. This is the third year now I'm doing this. 1-7 last week. Just absolutely terrible. It was a weird week around the league, week 2 was. I know I lost some FanDuel games. I lost my keeper league. Oddly enough, my 14-team league is 2-0 last week, powered by guys like Cordell Patterson, Brandon Cooks, Le'Veon Bell, Terrance West, DeMarco Murray. Just a great team all the way around. Fingers crossed nothing bad happened. But anyway, moving on, we are going to start on week 3 here at Start 'em Up. And I do want to apologize for coming a little late this week. Got a little backed up. But anyway, we're going to start with the quarterbacks. And this week, maybe you want to overspend on some running backs and some wide receivers. Kirk Cousins at 6,900 and Chad Henne at 6,200 are two quality plays this week. Cousins, of course, is starting in place of RG3. Probably going to be starting for the next 4 or 5 weeks at least. And Henne has been hit or miss so far. He looked great in the first half against the Eagles when he connected with Allen Hurts for the 2 quick touchdown passes, but he hasn't really done anything else since. He did reach double digits in fantasy points last week, depending on the format. But this week, I just like the matchup against the Indy defense that is giving up a lot of points anyway. Their defense has been generous. It's not like they can stop anyone. So I look for Henne possibly to get a couple garbage time TDs, and he could be useful that way. I think he's going to get at least 250 yards, could get 2 touchdowns. Cousins, I think, is a quality replacement for RG3. Got a good matchup against the Eagles. I would start him. Show you how confident I am. I actually picked him up to back up Ben Roethlisberger in my 14-team league, dropping Jordan Matthews at wide receiver, who hasn't done anything for the Eagles. So I picked up Cousins. I am starting him over Big Ben this week just because I don't like Big Ben's matchup. We're going to get to that when we do the sit 'em down segment. Moving on to the running backs, we're going to go with Terrance West of the Cleveland Browns and Ahmad Bradshaw of the Indianapolis Colts. 2 cheaper options at running back that I think are going to have quality stat lines if you use them and you want to overload at the wide receiver or the quarterback positions. Terrance West, 5,800. Ahmad Bradshaw, 5,200. Trent Richardson actually showed a pulse last week, but Bradshaw still got his 2 touchdowns, went for over 20 fantasy points last week, and he's been a top option for Andrew Luck. I don't see why he can't get another 2 touchdowns this week against that weak Jaguars defense, and I do think he's going to put up at least 70 to 90 all-purpose yards once again. As far as Terrance West goes, once again referring to my 14-team league, I am actually starting Terrance West at the flex spot over Andre Ellington this week. I just think it's a better matchup for West than it is for Ellington. I look at West as being someone that Cleveland is more dependent on to get their offense in motion than Ellington is on the Cardinals. Ellington has a lot of playmakers around him. Of course, he is also going with the backup quarterback, Drew Stanton, which is another good reason to downgrade any Cardinal player you have. But again, as far as West goes, they don't have a lot of options at wide receiver. Miles Austin showed some life last week. Andrew Hawkins has gotten involved in the action, has gotten a lot of catches so far. But West is still someone I think Brian Hoyer is going to be very reliant on as the weeks go by. That short option who can catch passes, he can run it out of the backfield. And I do think he's the most explosive player on the Browns offense. So at 5,800, once again, Terrance West is steal, as is Ahmad Bradshaw at 5,200. Moving on to wide receiver, I like Randall Cobb of the Green Bay Packers, DeAndre Hopkins of the Houston Texans, and Brian Quick of the St. Louis Rams. Now, Cobb is priced at 8,100 on FanDuel. Hopkins is priced at 6,200 on FanDuel. Brian Quick, the cheapest price of the 3 at 5,200. Quick is going up against the Cowboys defense that has surprised a lot of people, but they are beatable even with Austin Davis at quarterback. And the fact is he's the one catching the most passes on that team and is by all accounts the best receiver the Rams have right now. He's gotten 14 catches over the last 2 games for over 150 yards. He could wind up pulling down a touchdown in this game. So I would start him at 5,200 if you want to load up on $9,000 options. Maybe you want Jimmy Graham and Megatron in the same lineup. Go with Brian Quick. DeAndre Hopkins, I like the matchup against the Giants, and at 6,200, I still would rather play him than Andre Johnson, even though Johnson has slightly outproduced Hopkins. Hopkins is the one getting the touchdowns. And as far as Randall Cobb go, he's the cheaper of the two Packers wide receivers, even though I would start Jordy Nelson if I have the budget available. Randall Cobb, I just simply think it's his week to have the big stat line. Jordy Nelson came down with over 200 receiving yards last week. I'm not saying Cobb is going to do that, but if there's any Packer wide receivers getting over 20-plus fantasy points, pick Cobb. Moving on to tight end, we're going with Greg Olsen of the Carolina Panthers going against the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, priced at $6,200. Plain and simple, he is still Cam Newton's security blanket as much as Kelvin Benjamin is around. If anyone's going to take the touchdowns away from Benjamin, it's going to be Olsen this week. So you go with him if you want a cheaper option at tight end. And my special performance of the week, we're going to go with Kerry Robinson of the New Orleans Saints for $4,700 on FanDuel going against the Minnesota Vikings. Plain and simple, as a Pierre Thomas owner for the last few years, I can tell you, I don't know what it is, but Sean Payton hates Pierre Thomas. He will do anything in his power not to give the ball to the PT Cruiser. Now, the fact is, Mark Ingram is out. If there is any running back who should be getting the bell cow work this week, it should be the PT Cruiser, but it won't be. It'll be Kerry Robinson, and he won't be the workhorse. He'll be lucky if he gets 10 carries, but 2 of them will be the goal line carries. He'll wind up getting at least 2 touchdowns this week, expect at least 50 yards, and again, priced at $4,700. If you want Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers, and Megatron in the same FanDuel lineup, you're taking Kerry Robinson at running back. So to review, the guys you take this week, Kirk Cousins and Chad Henne at quarterback. At running back, you take Terrance West and Ahmad Bradshaw. At wide receiver, you take Randall Cobb, DeAndre Hopkins, and Brian Quick. At tight end, you take Greg Olsen. And my special performance this week is Kerry Robinson, running back of the New Orleans Saints. Once again, thanks to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel, Mike Ags 121. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at We Are SportsZone. Send us any questions and comments you may have. Thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks to everyone who's commented on the pages so far, specifically the Smooth Operator and Master Shredder. I really hope you guys got real names to go with that because, Smooth Operator was a song from the 80s, and I grew up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I'm cool with Master Shredder, but it would be nice if I knew some real names to go with that. Once again, thanks to everyone for watching. For This is SportsZone, I'm Mike Aglialoro. We'll see you next time, folks.